For a while now, I've wrestled with the idea of whether a point and shoot feels like a premium necessity or mostly a fad, especially with the given prices. Some being too cheap and not worth the time and effort, and some being inflated beyond reason. However, I think that these can open up a whole new element to your photography and storytelling with their unique size and ease of use. Well, that's where this Olympus comes to play for me. The Olympus Stylus Epic, also known as the Olympus MJU II, is a compact 35mm film camera that gained popularity for its sleek design and advanced features. It was introduced in the early 1990s and became known for its small size, making it easy to carry and use for everyday photography. The camera features a fixed 35mm 2.8 lens, autofocus capabilities, and a built-in flash. It also includes various shooting modes such as portrait and landscape to provide users with flexibility in different shooting conditions. The Stylus Epic is appreciated for its simplicity, portability, and quality in its images, making it a favored choice among film photography enthusiasts, especially now with the popularity of film point and shoots getting more and more popular every day. The back of the camera has a small screen showing what mode you're in and how many shots are left, just enough info to be useful, but not too much to bog you down. The 35mm lens is also a perfect focal length, I think, for point and shoots, giving you a little more reach than some wider angle lenses like a 24 or 28, but still giving you a wide enough lens where you can capture just about any scene. The camera also has a zoom version, but undoubtedly this fixed 35mm lens is by far the best lens that this camera can come equipped with. When I first picked up this camera, I was most curious to see how it would compare to my Contax T2, one of the most premium point and shoot cameras there are on the market, and also compare it to the XA2, which personally I did not like, but it is one of the more popular budget point and shoot cameras that does have a lot of hype behind it and people do seem to love. This camera's strengths, just like all the other point and shoots, lie in its ability to be taken anywhere and capture any scene with its fast focusing, strong flash, and wide angle lens. One thing I've seen people ask, in what scenario does this camera work better than some of the larger ones? And it's for running and gunning, or as a secondary camera when using a larger camera and you want something pocketable. What better situation, in my opinion, to test this through its paces than a 2-week-long overlanding trip through Arizona and Utah, capturing a variety of more serious and informal scenes on this camera. So that being said, I packed up my bags, packed up this camera, headed 1,500 miles west to see what this little gem could do. This gig for the tire company was actually pretty sick. We took Kenda tire dealers from all around the country up into the mountains with professional Kenda off-road racers and showed them firsthand why Kenda tires are so great, exploring the ghost towns along the way. I rode this sweet little electric dirt bike to film for 2 days on the trail, which was a lot of fun and definitely put the Olympus through its tests. From here, I headed up to Sedona to camp for a night before heading to Jerome, Arizona, a tourist trap ghost town built into the side of a mountain. Safe to say that this little Olympus is quite a ripper and did quite well on this 2-week-long journey. From cold nights in the Utah desert to ripping around on a dirt bike, this little guy was able to hang out in my pocket wherever I went, ensuring sharp images. I want to emphasize just how great this prime 35mm lens is on this Olympus. Outside of the nice ergonomics of the camera, the lens is truly the shining mark here. So many of these shots are super sharp and detailed, which was honestly kind of surprising. In fact, I wanted to see how it would truly compare in side by side when toe-to-toe with the Contax T2's legendary Zeiss 38mm lens. I took a quick trip to Devil's Lake in Wisconsin and was again pretty surprised at how similar in sharpness the shots were. Despite the T2 being much more expensive and being regarded as the magnum opus, the difference is quite minimal, especially if you're just aiming to shoot photos for social media or just leaning into the informal nature of point and shoots. Then spending a ton on these can seem quite silly, especially when you could be getting a more legitimate quality SLR for the same price. That being said, I do understand wanting a reliable point and shoot. I mean, I own the T2 after all, so it's all about your budget and the use case for these cameras. As for the features on the back, you can manually turn on and off flash, add the date, turn on landscape and portrait mode, etc. Like most people, I'm sure I didn't really touch these other than manually turning off the flash sometimes. And I don't really care much for dates, but I think that a good majority of people using point and shoots, this is a nice feature, so that is cool. Additionally, I was really impressed with the autofocus on this. There's honestly just wasn't many where the autofocus missed, and I shot 5-6 rolls through this, and pretty much all of them had turned out. Like I said earlier, there are a handful of other models of this camera with the zoom lens, and from my use and understanding, these aren't nearly as good as the prime lens, because you're basically just sacrificing quality to fit all of the zooming components so that the lens can actually zoom in this tiny body. For the price of around $300, you are getting a really great consistent quality point and shoot in this Olympus. While I know $300 is quite hefty for a more novelty shooting style, depending on your type of work, this point and shoot style camera can add a whole different element to the things you shoot and how you shoot them. For me, I like having my medium format camera as my main camera, and then having a pocketable 35mm point and shoot so I can quickly take anything that I don't want to shoot on 120 film. This Olympus, as with any point and shoot, is definitely a more traveling, memory-based camera versus being a camera that you're going to try and make fine art or large prints out of. So, do you need a point and shoot camera in general? Well, no, and depending on the type of photography you do, it may not even make sense. But that being said, having one allows you to take it to concerts, baseball games, or family Christmas and not get bogged down with a large camera that takes you out of the moment, and I think that this little Olympus has been perfect for that. Thinking about your photography, you can start to consider if it would be worth it for you. In many cases, whether it be weddings, landscapes, portraits, sports, etc., having the ability to quick shoot something to just capture the moment and story rather than focusing on perfect composition, focus, sharpness, lighting, etc., can be quite a valuable asset to any photographer or storyteller's toolbox. Do you guys have a point and shoot camera for your workflow? I'm curious to hear your opinion on point and shoot cameras in the market, especially with the current prices they're going for. I've really enjoyed these more, quote, premium cameras that I've shot, but honestly, I've toyed around with selling my T2 for the last couple years, so I can be convinced either way on any given day. Otherwise, that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, stay safe, stay shooting. Peace out.